starting from your book, Be the Change, and this is the sequel to Grandfather Gandhi. And like, what this book is about, how it compares to the first one?
So the first one is about Arun's relationship with his grandfather and how his grandfather taught him to control his anger. And through the lesson of how anger is like electricity and how we can either channel it and use it for good, or we can be just reactive with it, and it can be reactive like lightning, and it can do harm or damage in many ways that we never even intended. And then in this book, it's still a close relationship about Arun and his grandfather, so kids get to experience this world leader as they would like their grandpa. This book goes deeper into Gandhi's belief, the Mahatma's belief about passive violence and how passive violence leads to physical violence in the world. Most of us don't lash out with knives and guns or even hit and slap and punch, but we do think negative thoughts about ourselves, about others. And the art, Evan Turk, the illustrator of the book, did an even more beautiful job. If you enjoyed the first book, you'll love the second book.
Be the Change is just the latest book in a career of telling stories about amazing people doing inspiring things. But for Bethany, it's more than a book, it's a life. Here's Bethany.
The first book took 10 years to come out, 10 years to sell, 13 years to come out. The second book took 2 weeks after the first book came out to get a contract, and then just a little year and a half. So for those of you that are writing and plugging away, please keep at it. It's always, always, always important. And we don't know when those things will happen, but if we keep at it, they will. Grandfather Gandhi began 15 years ago, unbeknownst to me. The journey to write the picture book and Be the Change began on a Tuesday morning in Manhattan 15 years ago, on a cloudless fall day, 9/11. And terrorism didn't end on 9/11, though we wish it had. In fact, I think in this country and in this world right now, we are all survivors of terror. All of us. Those who weren't born on 9/11, and those who each time we mark another anniversary take a deep breath and remember where we were when we heard the news that the towers fell. So how do we heal, and how do we keep healing? In an effort to help myself heal, I attended a talk Arun Gandhi gave in New York City in October of 2011. I wasn't published yet, but listening to him speak about the 2 years he lived on the ashram with his grandfather from when he was 12 to 14, I felt called to see his stories become picture books. I didn't meet him that night, but that thought wouldn't leave me that his stories should be shared with young readers. I pledge to find my own unique tools and talents. That's what Grandfather Gandhi, Be the Change, and all my books are, offerings to the world of my own unique tools and talents. How many writers do we have in the room? How many artists do we have in the room? Okay. Those are our gifts that we're called to share upon with the world. And whether they're well reviewed or well received, embraced or not, they're my way to take anger, shame, and the effects of war and terrorism, racism and hatred and the other ills of society, and to quietly and thoughtfully say, I will not be broken. I will heal. I believe in our beauty. I believe in our stories. I believe we all have anger and shame and fear, and we can talk about it. We can listen, and we can change.